So here are 7 essential strengthening exercises that I perform to help condition myself for running. I'll always start my workout with a warm-up. Now I'll aim for about 10 to 15 minutes of cardio to help prime myself for the workout to come. I'll sometimes use a rower, stationary bike, or even a stair climber. It's all about just getting the blood flowing before we rip into the strengthening. We're going to start off with a hip flexor strength exercise. Now, in my opinion, our hip flexors are often neglected when it comes to strengthening, yet they are so important for developing that hip drive, our ability to drive our leg forward as we run. To do this exercise, you're going to need a step and a kettlebell. Stand on the side of the step and loop your foot into the kettlebell, and we're going to start driving our hip up towards the sky. Now, for control, you can always let your leg hover there for 1 to 2 seconds and then slowly let the weight drop back down. Our second strength exercise is a tib ant raise. Now, the muscles at the front of our shin are so important for force absorption. To set yourself up, all you need is a bench and a kettlebell. You're going to sit on the bench and you're going to place the kettlebell around your foot, and you're just going to work through that range nice and controlled. If you haven't done something like this before, you'll feel very shaky through range. As you get used to it, you may notice this starts to improve. For the next exercise, we're going to start using some heavier resistances. We're going to be performing a leg press. You can always start off with a double leg variation. My preference, where possible, is to always perform single leg exercises, as I think it's a great way to find the difference between strength between 2 legs and also closely mimics what we do when we run. And on to the next one, we're just going to be doing your conventional standard barbell squat. It's a great compound movement, really important for building up strength in your lower body. If you're new to the gym, then it may be helpful to just have someone with you to help give you some cues for technique, just to make sure you're loading it up properly. If you're looking for a little bit of training variety, I sometimes substitute this with a kettlebell squat. Now, my personal preference is to do this on a Bouncy ball, and this is a great way for strength to meet dynamic stability. It's just if you're someone like me that loves a lot of training variety when you're performing your strength exercises. For the next exercise, we're going to be performing Bulgarian split squats. Now, if you watched our previous video, you may have seen this feature in our home-based program, but this is such a brutally efficient exercise and great for runners. To set yourself up for it, you're going to sit on the edge of the bed and you're going to extend your legs. You're going to use that foot positioning as a rough idea of where your front leg should be placed. Now, there's plenty of ways to load yourself up while performing this exercise. You can use a barbell across your back or hold on to dumbbells or kettlebells in your hands. I prefer the latter, as I find as my legs start to wobble, if I need a little bit of balance, it's nice to have the hands readily available. Here at the Physio Bros, we are for the everyday athlete. So that's someone that works your 9 to 5, has a social life, and eats the odd chocky here and there. What we want to do is build a platform that creates realistic exercise expectations, so that you don't feel guilty for indulging yourself here and there. We think you should be able to manage your training goals as well as maintaining a reasonable lifestyle. Now, if that's something that appeals to you, then smoke that subscribe button, because we have plenty of content coming out that's going to help you achieve your personal best. Now, this is one of my favorite exercises to do in the gym. It is the weighted step up. To get started, you can always use a smaller step, but just know as you get stronger, it's always going to be more beneficial to work through range. So add in a higher step or a higher box to increase the challenge. Now, similar to the Bulgarian split squats, there's lots of ways that you can add the resistance, whether it's in a Smith machine, using a barbell, or your kettlebell and dumbbell variations. I'll leave it up to you in terms of what your preference is. And for our final 7 essential strength exercises that you need to perform, we have a single leg RDL. This is a great way where strength meets balance and stability. This is going to be a fantastic exercise to get your hamstrings burning. You should really feel this in your upper portion of your hamstrings. Now, find a resistance that's appropriate. You should still find yourself able to maintain your balance through full range, and you want to be hinging as far as you can while maintaining a neutral spine, or if anything, slightly extended through your lower back. Now, I've just shown you my 7 essential running strength exercises that I perform to help improve my running. But there's no way I could finish this video without mentioning plyometrics. In my opinion, can be the most underutilized form of training to help optimize your running. But you're gonna have to wait till our video next week to find out about our 4 favorite plyos. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. Now guys, if you don't have much experience in the gym, then it is so important that you don't lift with your egos. Keep in mind, it's going to take time to build resistance, to build the weight up. Do it at a rate that you feel comfortable and confident when you're performing these exercises. Now, to move on to the more controversial part of our video, we're going to be talking about the most ideal amount of reps and sets that you need to perform to get the most out of your workout. I think it's really important to ask yourself the question, what do I want to gain from my strength training? Is it strength and power, or is it to build endurance? You don't always have to pick between one or the other, but it is important to ask yourself what you're aiming to gain from the exercise. You may find yourself in the same workout picking one exercise where you go higher reps, lower weight, transitioning to your more compound, heavier resistance exercises where you're going to go for your higher weight, lower reps. Now, in the context of me training for a marathon, obviously I'm spending a lot of time beating the pavement in a way that's going to be building my muscles to work for long periods. So when I come into the gym, I don't really need to be focusing on that endurance component of my strength. In that case, I'm not always going to pick your lower weight, higher rep exercises. In fact, I'm going to try and do the opposite. So for a lot of these exercises, I'm aiming for about 70 to 80% of my 1 rep max and looking for a rep range between 6 to 8 reps and 3 to 4 sets. Now, obviously I've given you a few exercises to try here. If it's ever been a tough week and it's hard to get through all of these while also managing my high mileage running for my marathon training, then sometimes I'll split these exercises into 2 different sessions. I'll always aim to maintain 2 sessions of gym strengthening a week, as I think it's really essential for loading up your muscles in a different capacity and way to help optimize your running and also reduce your chance of injury. To see the full benefits of a strength program, you're going to need at least 8 to 12 weeks. So always keep that at the back of your mind when you're training for something, or if you have an event coming up, you're going to need at least a 2 to 3 month training block to really see the benefits. If you guys found this helpful, give us a like and subscribe. Leave any questions that you have down in the comments and we'll get back to you. We want to find ways to help you train smart and improve your running ability. We'll see you next time.